And I'm looking on the YouTube. I see you, or I see me. I don't see you.
Uh-oh. That's not... Wait. Hold up. Wait. Hold up. Oh. Oh, my. That's not... That shouldn't be. Oh, my. So, let's see here. Where is the screen thing?
I see
How do I...
moving things around.
Yes. See all of that stuff going on. Hold on. Let's try doing this instead. Okay. I'm gonna do a different one. Do that. Of that, yes. Capture of that, the whole thing. And that right there. Let's get rid of that. There. That should be pa.
There we go. I see it.
You see our beautiful faces. All right. I look like an old man. I haven't shaved to say. I have not shaved at all. I look rough. I feel like an old Wookiee.
You got the Geordie look going on. I'm just saying.
I feel like a...
Kind of digging it.
I feel like a...
I need you... Now I'm going to need you to jump up and roll under the door at the last minute.
He did perfect those last minute rolls, didn't he?
He did. Sometimes they weren't so good. Sometimes it was like he's like waiting like...
He's like, wait. Hold up. Okay, now I could go. See? Last minute, bitch. Alright. Which one is this? This is episode 4. Oh my gosh.
Yes. So are we good? Are we live everywhere?
We are. We're almost live.
Places, all the things.
We're almost live everywhere. Let me hit the play on the Radia. And so now we are live everywheres. All up on the YouTubes. All up on the Twitches. Well, not the Twitch, but all up on the YouTubes, all up on the Radia. We're about to go all up on the live on the TikToks, but we are live here on the Radia. We are good to go. And so, the prettiest lady on the internet, away. It is off to you.
Check it out. You can have intro music now.
Yeah.
We could. We'll figure it out going forward. But hey, and we've actually got some songs. But this is the Rules of Nerdquisition for December 29th, 2024, the last episode of 2024. We are reviewing Star Trek TOS Season 2, Episode 4, Mirror, Mirror. I am Gretchen. This is Gilbert. And we're dealing with some technical difficulties. I mean, I have a new studio set up. Gilbert's trying to get us broadcasting everywhere. But hey, we're doing our thing. Nerds are doing our thing. We tinker.
So, you know, we had a late start. You know, things happen. You know, life stuff. So we're trying. Yes. We are trying. Cut us some slack, please. We cut us some slack.
Cut us some slack. But hey, you know, yeah, I had to put on like a whole face of makeup because I got this brand new webcam, and it stares into the souls of every pore that I have. So like, I had to like actually put makeup on for this show. Not that I mind putting makeup on, but, you know.
But I mean, if you have a choice, then you know, would you rather go through the whole effort of doing it, or you know, if you could just be comfortable and just like, hey.
Yeah, I just used the Zoom enhance my appearance feature, but no, that apparently did not work. And come about 1:00 this afternoon, I'm like, you and I were texting, and I'm like, well, I think I need to start the whole process of like preparing myself for this.
Right.
This is a whole new thing, new mic, new camera, new everything. But hey, you can hear me, you can see me.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I guess, but
No, don't
it
be
is.
sorry. Don't be sorry, because look at this. We are everywhere now. Oh, we are all up on the TikToks. We are talking.
We're everywhere now.
We are everywhere. So listen, I need to do a little bit extra, add some pizzazz to these lives, so that we get some people comes in there, and so we can talk some more nerd shit.
Nerd shit. Absolutely.
Yes.
Nerd shit. Nerd shitting everywhere. That's what this is. Nerd shitting everywhere. So,
So yes.
but yeah,
Chaos. What's up, bruv?
Don't even need to use a digital background for once. This is my, well, for now, my home studio. You can't really see the nerdy stuff in the background. I got a Sentinel over here. That's my Sentinel Matrix
Hey.
curled up. But I'll be moving in 5 months and setting up a brand new studio. So we'll get better backgrounds then. So we'll do the little blurry stuff for now. But yeah, this is Rules of Nerdquisition, and we are talking Mirror Mirror. And as you pointed out, this episode is kind of funny.
Yes, it is. Because my whole thing is that what I really know the good Spock from the evil Spock is that he has a goatee, and it's like,
That's a good.
and that denotes who's good and who's evil has a goatee.
Well, maybe I should grow a goatee for my villain era. I guess I don't know. No, I promise I won't do that. I won't.
Said no.
I'll draw one on one day. Just be like,
Yeah.
Hey, it's
Yeah, there you go.
Rules of Nerdquisition mirror episode.
Said draw a goatee. Then we're talking to the mirror Gretchen.
Right. The Wicked Witch of the Gretch is from the Mirror Universe. But this episode starts very similar to a lot of other goofy episodes with Star Trek where we have to get into shenanigans. They are trying to persuade a group of aliens, species called the Hulkans, to join the Federation so that they can mine dilithium from their planet. And the Hulkans are like, nah.
Hawkins like, nah, we good. Nah, we're good.
So everybody, Kirk and party, beam back up to the Enterprise. Thus ensues the shenanigans with the ever-present transporter accident.
Said, but we have a transporter accident, but there's outside interference with the ion storm, and so now they enter in the mirror universe, and we know that because our Enterprise is going left to right, whereas the mirror Enterprise is going right to left.
Right to left. Right.
That's how you know.
Also, where our Enterprise is the United Starship Enterprise.
Correct.
This is the Imperial Starship Enterprise, the ISS Enterprise. So that's something that they learn very quickly. But as I always do, just so I maintain this kill-to-death ratio and keep it perfect, Vic Perrin played the Hulkan ambassador, whom Kirk was trying to negotiate with, passed away July 4th of 1989 at the age of 73. He was also the control voice during the series The Outer Limits. So props to him. Rest in peace, sir. Thank you for your additives and additions to Star Trek and nerddom everywhere.
100%. And you have added, within your death, one more nerd cred of her kill-to-death ratio of 100%.
I am undefeated. I shall be undefeated. I'm that no-scoping sniper in the back of the map camping that it's pissing everyone off.
Said, yeah.
Somebody get that person. Like, no.
Said, yes. She makes it rain on her enemies.
I was never that good, but it reminds me of a time when I used to play. I used to be part of a semi-pro, I guess, ish Halo team. And
Okay.
we had this one guy on the team. Rest in peace, Brad. Rest in peace. You were amazing. We were playing, I don't know how many nerds watching this will understand, but we were playing on the map Valhalla once on Halo 3. Big Frost Canyon map, right? And had two bases with man cannons in them, right? He jumps on the back of a mongoose and I'm driving it. We launch through the man cannon on the mongoose. We're flipping end over end. And he takes out not one, not two, but three of the enemy team. No scope while flipping end over end on the back of my mongoose. Brad, you were an amazing person. We tried so hard to push you to go pro. Life didn't see that. But
That
wow.
That's some pro level shit. That's something that that's something that you hope one day you get recorded so you could post it, just simply because if you just try to explain it, everybody's going to be like, nah, that ain't happening.
There's a laptop. My old laptop is at the bottom of that shelf back there. I have a screen video recording of it. I need to just pull that out because I've been wanting to take some files off of that computer. My backup hard drive, I can't find the AC adapter for it.
Oh.
So I want to find the adapter so I can connect it to the old laptop and get all the old files off of it before I throw it in the trash, because it's like 10 years old. It's worthless. But I want those videos. I'm going to get them.
Either one of two ways. You can either take that hard drive out or you can get a universal adapter. One of those two.
Yeah. Not a bad idea. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure I'm only doing what I do every weekend. It's not close to what you used to do, Brad, but it's an honor of you.
Yeah. But back to the show. So, yeah, the shenanigans ensues, and so we have a transporter accident, and so immediately and I'm sorry, what in the hell was Kirk wearing with the sash and the sleeveless V-neck?
Reminds me of the episode from Enterprise. I don't know if you ever saw it, because you said you haven't gotten through Enterprise yet fully.
Not all of it, no.
But there's an episode in Enterprise. You remember the TOS episode? We haven't got to it yet. The Tholian web.
Mm-hmm.
And it had the USS Defiant. And the Defiant was in the web, and it got sucked into another dimension.
Yep.
It actually gets sucked into the mirror universe, and the evil Archer in the mirror universe finds it, and he goes into the captain's quarters during this episode, and he finds one of Kirk's like green tunics with the wraparound belt thing, and he's like putting it on, like, check me out. Like, you need to see it. It's hilarious, but it is not the same. It's not the same thing as this V-neck sleeveless thing that Kirk has going.
It's like I don't even know how to explain it. It's like a shirt, but like a sash, but like a wraparound thing. I have no clue how to describe this thing.
Now, before we get into the crux of the episode itself, into the meat of it, the thing I want to know is this. Okay, so Kirk and crew, the good versions,
right?
They're able to hide who they are. I get that. You know, they can pretend to be bad, but why are like the evil Kirk and all them guys, like, they're just screaming and yelling and just raging mad? Like, there's no dealing with them at all, because like the few clips we get of them in the brig on the USS Enterprise, is them just screaming and mad and cursing and
right. And it's just like,
wow. I mean, and
it's like, really,
down, bro, calm down, man.
And it's like, really? Seriously. And so it's like, I don't know. And then in Discovery, you know, with Captain Lorca, we find out that the Captain Lorca that we know, that we're introduced to, is actually the Mirrorverse version of him. So it's like, yeah, they're not all screaming, raging madmen. You know, they do know, kind of how to calm down and like realize that, okay, Toto, we ain't in Kansas no more. So,
Right.
but
Exactly. So it's um, I just don't know. It's just like how did the United Earth Empire, whatever it's called, how did they get where they were, being so ragey and mad all the time?
um, I think I want to say they kind of touched on it a little bit in Discovery as well. Once they found out, that Lorca was from the mirror universe, and essentially what we're saying is that the Empire there essentially was just going around conquering galaxies, just conquering planets. Essentially, almost like the Borg, but not really like assimilating, but just like, hey, join us or die. That type of thing.
Much, yeah.
And so,
and it's important to understand that Vulcans are like the alien trash of the galaxy in this particular universe. Like they're looked down upon.
it's like, yeah. And here's the thing is that, and it's saying like the mirror Spock was not much different than our Spock, but just think it's like if our Spock was put in the mirror universe, how would he act? And that would be the mirror Spock.
Right.
So it's like,
I think the mirror Spock is like Spock plus. Like,
right?
He's
Yeah.
actually got a little bit of coolness to him. Not to say that we all don't love Spock. Everybody loves Spock.
Yeah.
It's like
See,
I think he got more fan mail and marriage proposals than we.
yeah, then from that one, yeah. Because here and that version of Spock, and when Chekhov made his assassination attempt on Kirk, Spock was like, I'm glad you're alive because I don't want to be captain. He's like,
No.
Said I'm happy doing what I'm doing, and I know as soon as I become captain, then somebody's going to kill me, and I don't want to die. Essentially, that's what I got from it.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, essentially, they have to go through this whole process of like, after they realize like, oh wait, fuck, how long were we gone?
It's like, wait.
What's happening here?
It's like, I know, we weren't gone that long, It's like, how? How are we gone this long?
Right, but once it's reported to, as Kirk and crew are trying to figure out everything out, and it's reported that the Hawkins are like, nah, because the same thing is happening in the mirror universe. They're just like, nah, we're not going to let you
Yeah.
our dilithium, and Spock is like, okay, well, we just need to fire all weapons,
Right.
and destroy these people.
So whereas in the other one, Kirk is like, hey, let's just talk about it.
Talk about it. Maybe we wait a little bit before.
So,
but we get our first view of the Agonizer when Spock uses it on Chief Kyle, who, as we pointed out in previous episodes, later becomes Commander Kyle that we see in Star Trek 2. So
right.
he's been around a long time. Love to see Commander Kyle, Chief Kyle in every form. What's up, Kyle? How you doing?
All right, Kyle. So now see, and this is me, and I don't know. I know why, but I don't want to say why, But I see, I saw the Agonizer, and I want an Agonizer. I do. I know why, but I don't want to say why.
I know why. I can think of a few people I would use the Agonizer on. Just like, hey, you've been a little bit of a D today. So let's.
So I'll be like, yo, hey, here, hold on to this for me real quick.
Just hold on to that.
So
No
yeah,
problem with that.
so yeah, that I don't know. Yeah, that's something I would definitely want, but again, I'm not. I'm not saying why I want it, but there's quite a few people.
It is a family friendly show, so we will not explain to the listeners why Gilbert
No,
and I
no,
think
no,
we
no.
need an agonizer.
Said
we do.
no. This is a family show.
And if you do come up with a design for one,
I mean,
hook us
again,
up. Let reach out.
so
Let's-
we're not gonna we're not gonna judge. We listen and we don't judge. That's what we do here. And we talk about Star Trek and other nerdy shit.
and other nerdy shit. Yes, that's what we do. Oh,
And so yeah,
but-
we get a
yeah.
we
So
really
you said Chekhov tries to assassinate Kirk.
that he
There
does.
are actually two actors in this episode listed as Chekhov's henchman and Chekhov's henchman number 2.
Chekhov's henchman.
Chekhov had henchmen in the Mirror Universe. Before he's ordered to the agony booth for punishment.
Dun dun.
Yeah, don't try to. I mean,
So don't try that. Don't try that with James T. Kirk. You going sent to the agony booth.
and while the only glimpses of the Mirror Kirk that we get are him screaming from the inside of the brig in the USS Enterprise, I can only imagine how ruthless that guy was.
Oh my gosh. So we only get just a small taste of what he has done when he pretty much Googled himself. Asked the computer. He's like a service record for James Kirk and said, got control, became captain of the Enterprise by assassinating Captain Pike, was wiped out.
Sorry, Chris. In
Sorry.
this universe, Bill killed your dad.
Sorry, man. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you, but sorry. Anyway, so said he wiped out a couple civilizations and wiped out this, and yeah. So we get a small glimpse, detail, a taste of what that James Kirk is like. And
I just need to go out and say this because that's just it's me. Barbara Luna, who played Marlena Moreau in this episode, who is still active, by the way. Wikipedia can't seem to figure out if she's 87 or 88, but whatever.
right.
Another one of my many Star Trek crushes. I just want to say thank you, Barbara.
That,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you for that. Wait,
So it's
until
funny.
you see the episode, the episode of Enterprise I was referring to earlier, and you get to see Hoshi in the same outfit.
Oh my gosh. Hoshi. Oh my gosh. Yes. So with Enterprise,
Linda Park, we love you. We love you, Linda Park.
Yes, we do. And so here's the thing. My whole thing with Enterprise is, and I realize it now. Is that it is, and I always had every excuse in the world for not watching Enterprise, but realistically speaking, it is a great show. It is. My only issue I ever had with it was they had the wrong theme song. They had the songs flipped. Like they had the ending theme at the beginning for the opening theme, and then had the actual that song. It's been a long time. That at the end, okay, yeah. I'd be
Do I
totally
need
okay
to,
with
do I
it.
need to do that for our fans? Like, I'll just bring. It's been a long road getting from there to here.
All I hear,
But no, I agree with you because the end episode credits is just kind of like no 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 no, like just
right?
normal
Just
music.
like the normal Star Trek theme that you would hear, from the original series, from Next Gen to DS9, Voyager would have been is an instrumental, but
Mhm.
this is the only one. Because I mean,
I
instantly with that for me, it just ruined everything, and so I was like, I don't want to see this now.
um and I know he's not watching, but I'll be sure to let him know that I called him out. Um, Mr. Platypus, my dear friend on TikTok, um, that song sucks. I'm sorry. It did not fit. Maybe the song is good, so I'm not going to actually just trash the song.
Let's say it
Maybe
like
that's your kind of
this.
music. It just doesn't fit Star Trek. It
Well,
never
let's say
fits
it's like
Star Trek.
this. I mean, it may be it's one of those like songs that at the end where it's like, oh yeah, I kind of like this song, and you want to hear the full version of it. Okay, cool. That's one of those songs. You play it at the end, and then at the end credits, you're like, they play like a 30-second clip of it, and you're like, oh yeah, I really like this song. That's how you gain interest in it. But just having that, nope, I was done. Or maybe something like it like at a pivotal moment, it plays that song is the theme of whatever the case may be. Since with Enterprise is it's they're launching the Enterprise in space for the first 5-year mission, blah 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 blah, and then with the launching, then they play "It's Been a Long Night." Then okay, I get it, but just opening up like that, nah. You lost me. You lost me, and it took almost 20 flipping years for me to get past that just so I can watch a good show.
It has, and that's crazy to think that Enterprise has been out that long. I mean, it came out
Yeah.
early 2000s.
Yeah, it's like early 2000s. Like I want to say early like
And they have a
2002, 4.
they have a great cast. I mean,
Yeah. And everybody
obviously,
always
Scott Bakula. Everyone loves him. He's a
yeah.
staple of from
Yeah.
Quantum Leap, and Jolene Blaylock, Colin Trenier. I mean, all these, everyone. I can't name them all, but they're just all fantastic. And
Yeah.
and they did try to create a hipper version of the song in later seasons, especially in season 3 when they tried to do the serialized thing like Deep Space Nine did. And they tried the whole season 3 of Enterprise as one long story, one ongoing story.
Right.
Which is the only other time in Star Trek history other than Discovery, I can't talk for that yet. I still haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Now
Now
they've had some kind of like continuously going serialized story.
yeah. And even with Discovery, it kind of no, I wouldn't even say it carries on into the final season. It wraps at the beginning. It wraps up that ongoing season.
They had multiple story arcs through several episodes, from what I understand, but nothing like Deep Space Nine did.
Oh no.
And
So-
we're going to talk about this next week, ladies and gentlemen, and all you in between and beyond, about some things about Discovery. We've got beef. We've got beef.
A little bit.
And
A little bit.
we're gonna bring the beef. Don't ask what the beef is. We've got it. But anyway, okay. So yeah, we're back on the Enterprise. We get through this episode.
But yeah, we this kind of we get our first introduction to the mirror universe, and this is to be again one of the funniest episodes, just simply because of just how if you think of how this ship run with everybody trying to assassinate each other just so they can move up in rank. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could just, hey, this is my superior officer. I don't like you.
Right?
Knife in the throat, and you're done. You're out. I mean, they all carry daggers on their belts anyway all the time.
Exactly. Yes.
Little
so it's like
sleeveless outfits.
It's like, I'm chief engineer. I want to be chief engineer one day. Matter of fact, I'm going to be chief engineer today. Stab. Like, what? What?
Yeah, there's not a lot to the episode itself. It's really just a point of
just basically it's just kind
the
of
Empire wanting to wipe out the Hulkans and Kirk trying to delay that in every way possible.
Yeah. Now, we could also take like a whole existential look at, of this is the evil of men, and this is, if we weren't, unchecked in our devices, and we, and we lean to this whole more of a violent culture, and lean into this whole, the more the Starship Trooper society rather than the Star Trek society that we all know, leaning heavier into that, then then it kind of shows just how cruel that we could be. And this is just giving you a taste within 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah, and not just cruel, but callous also. Because I think your analogy of the Starship Troopers' means of promotion is a good point.
Right.
Hey, Rico, I need a corporal. You're it until you're dead. I find somebody better.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, and I mean, and almost the same thing could be considered with Star Wars and Sith and the Rule of Two. The only way that the apprentice can become a master is once he assassinates the master.
Apology accepted, Captain Vita.
Exactly right.
Like, all you need to do to get promoted is wait for the guy above you to piss off Darth Vader.
Is that
and hope you don't.
Right? So that's all you got to do.
He's as clumsy as he is stupid.
So, clumsy and stupid. Don't be that. Done.
Don't be that. Don't be that.
Don't be clumsy and don't be stupid. Said, well, let me go do.
Like how in this episode everybody got a little bit of time to shine, though. Uhura gets to distract Sulu. Evil Sulu gets to try and assassinate Kirk. Uhura disarms Sulu.
Right.
Everyone kind of gets to do something. Spock, evil mirrors. Well, not say evil, but mirror Spock gets to do his little mind meld thing with McCoy after McCoy tries to save him once he's wounded, and
right.
McCoy being McCoy's like, I'm not going to leave him to die.
Yeah, and
get
so
a little bit of compassion from Mirror Spock because of that.
Yeah, and I think we kind of get the impression that Mirror Spock knows that is not actual, his captain. He knows that that's not his captain.
Figuring it out.
Yeah, just simply because it's that he knows the captain. He knows, what his first instinct is to do, which is why when Spock would name, standard procedure, yes, yes, because he knew this is what the captain would do. And so once he saw Kirk was going like, hold up, just wait a second. Hold up, just wait a second. It's like, why am I waiting? So yeah, I kind of see is that for me is that he started suspecting it and didn't know for sure until that mind meld, and he got his confirmation.
Right, right. So when Kirk and Scott and Uhura are in the transporter room, or at least getting there, and they find, Yeoman Gorgeous waiting for them, and
Right. So Yeoman
and it was
thirst
actually
trap.
it wasn't Sulu or that that Uhura disarmed. It was Marlene. I'm sorry, I got mixed up there, but yeah,
Yeah.
she actually begs Kirk to take her with him
Yeah. We get
to get
a.
out of this evil universe, and Kirk's like, well, it's only for 4, and I got 3 people here. I mean, you're
So
cute.
yeah. I mean, you're
I
cute,
think I
but I
gotta
mean,
take my people with me. But
it's like I mean, and then we get Lieutenant Thirst Trap. I mean, Lieutenant Marlena showing
right.
up.
Oh, Barbara, I'm coming to get you, Barbara. No, sorry, different movie. Anyway, we'll talk zombies another time. But anyway, um,
Right.
yeah. So she gets disarmed, and they do the thing. But that's when Spock, Mirror Spock, shows up with McCoy, and you're
With
like, oh,
McCoy, yeah. And then he's like, and then you're like, wait, is he helping them or is what's going on here? And then no, I'm here to get you back because I don't want to be captain.
I need my
I need my captain back because
ruthless as he is.
he said, ruthless as he is, I don't want to be captain, and he knows I'm not going after him because I don't want to be captain.
Right, right.
Because it doesn't make sense for me to be captain because I don't want to be captain. And
Right. So, and because we have the conundrum of the controls need to be
said they need to be operated manually, but then it's like, who goes?
Now we got Mirror Spock. Now we got Mirror Spock with McCoy's like, all right, I'm gonna get my captain back. He's kind of a big D.
Said yeah, but he is a D bag, but you know what? I know how to handle him, and so he and I are cool. He's a D bag, but I know how to handle him. Pause.
Exactly. So I mean, again, there's not a whole lot to the episode in general. They find themselves in the mirror universe, dealing with the same diplomatic situation. One universe is dealing with it differently than the other one.
All right.
And after shenanigans of who is who, and we're pretending to be someone we're not, but everyone figures it out. Mirror Spock, who is kind of cooler in a way than
and then
normal Spock. I'm gonna get you out of here. I'm gonna get you out. You give me my captain back, and I'll get you out.
And then of course, Kirk before he leaves tries to give Spock an impassioned speech about wanting to stop the violence and start working together, and doing the whole give peace a chance. See, but Spock is like, I'll think about it, but you know what? I still don't want to be captain.
That's very true, and this makes me wonder. So as we revisit the mirror universe, we don't do that again until Deep Space Nine.
Mm-hmm.
TNG never had any mirror universe episodes. But we learned that the Terran Empire has fallen, and
Yes,
the Bajorans are ruling the galaxy now as the terror of the galaxy. And it makes me wonder if this incident, I do believe, if I remember my canon correctly, this incident's what led to the eventual downfall of the Terran Empire and other species having the opportunity to take over.
yeah, I want to say yes on that because in Discovery, like everybody they were all in fear of the Bajorans.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say yeah on that one.
No.
The normal, our universe, even the Bajorans were hell even in our universe. I mean, they were stuck in a war, and a lot of them were wiped out. But they was even the ones that were still surviving. Each one of them, they would man. They were hell on wheels to deal with.
Ro is a badass character.
Mm-hmm.
Kira is a badass character.
Absolutely.
Even Kai Wen is a badass character.
As much as you hate
her.
As much much as you hate her when she was Vedic, and then when she was Kai, and then you hated her, and then all of a sudden one day she became cool. And it's just, how did that happen?
Now, Ro has always been one of my favorite characters in all of the Star Trek series, and I have an absolutely unhealthy obsession with Michelle Forbes, but we've talked about her before. She was fantastic as Admiral Kane in Battlestar Galactica.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you watched it, but I absolutely loved her in True Blood.
Oh my God, I love True Blood. And I love. I mean, so because she was the big baddie in season 2. I do remember that, and oh my God, that she had that whole town. It was about to take over the whole world.
She was about to. And that may be the subject of another episode. We've been discussing which other fandoms and genres not genres, but other fandoms to talk about during our post Star Trek episodes. Because I know we kind of rush through the TOS episodes. That's fine. I mean, come on. If you haven't seen them already, do we really need to review it scene by scene, line by line for you? I don't think so.
No. I mean, aside from whatever deep philosophical, sociological, blah blah blah, big word, SAT word, insert here, theme that they're talking about. Yeah, we'll explore that. We'll talk about that. But
and this one I don't think had any philosophical issues so much as it was a thought experiment. Hey, what would it look like if Earth and humans were evil?
Right.
And conquerors, as opposed to some
the scientific
peacekeeping armada.
Right. The peacekeeping armada.
that choice of words still confuses me to this day. But hey, Bruce Greenwood only had to say them; he didn't have to write them.
Right. It's like what is that show? It's right there. Farscape. Yeah, Farscape of the Peacekeepers. And would you think, okay, Peacekeepers, yeah, all right, those are the good guys, and until you see the Peacekeepers and you realize what their idea of peace is.
You're not keeping the peace so much, at least the way I perceive peace to be.
Right. I mean,
what do I know?
I mean, yeah, if you shoot everybody that's there, and then hey, that's peace, I guess, because there's nobody there anymore, so there's no problems. So I guess
who knows, but yeah, we get Spock, Mirror Spock sends everybody back to their universe, and they're having a little conversation with non-Mirror Spock. And I love the quote he says where he's talking to Kirk. He's like, I found, he found the ruthless attitude of their counterparts refreshing, sarcastically calling them the very flower of humanity. Geez, non-mirror Spock is kind of a bigger D than mirror Spock was.
Right? So it's like I think we need to flip those Spocks around.
I think Spock should have adopted the mustache and goatee after that. I'm a big fan. I think it worked. It looked good. He definitely rocked it out.
So yeah, the only exception I have to that is in Discovery when Spock made a cameo, and the first time we see him, he has a full-on beard.
Yes, he did. Remember that.
That is the only other exception I have for Spock, because I was like, oh, I like bearded Spock. Bearded Spock looks like that's a guy you can trust. Bearded Spock looks like, Al from Home Improvement with pointed ears.
With pointed ears, nobody trusts Tim Allen, but Al,
but Al, yeah.
Al, you're okay. Yeah. So I don't know, but of course the non-mirror version of Lieutenant Marlena Moreau shows up with the Etch-a-Sketch or signature. I don't know if it's an Etch-a-Sketch. What I always think of is those little boards they had when you were a kid, and you draw on the paper, and you lift the paper up, and it clears the drawing off.
Is it right? Or
with those magic notepads or something.
So yeah, or just like that Etch-a-Sketch where you had the two little knobs and then you knob and then all right, there you go.
But of course, we can't end the episode without Kirk looking at her and going, "Hey,
he
seems nice.
It's a
Maybe
Lieutenant.
We could be friends."
It's a Lieutenant Thirst Trap. I mean, Marlena.
Right.
Oh,
But I do really like the Mirror Universe episodes. I mean, the Deep Space Nine episodes. We had crossover, Through the Looking Glass, Shattered Mirror, Resurrection, and The Emperor's New Clothes.
Yes.
5 episodes in Deep Space Nine. And then you get it's a two-parter Star Trek episode in A Mirror Darkly. Great episode. And then the Mirror Universe played a large role in the first season of Star Trek Discovery. So I need to catch up on those. But
yeah, we will get caught up on those. So we are at the top of the hour. So let's go ahead and reset the show. So if you are just coming in, just joining us, this is Sunday, 4 o'clock. I am the Angry IT Nerd. I am known as Gilbert. This is Trans Gretchen. She is Gretchen. She is the prettiest lady on the internet. And we are here, the hosts of the Rules of Nerdquisition, talking all kinds of nerdy just for you.
For you.
Just for you.
All of our efforts are for you. Whoever you are.
Whoever you are, wherever you are, that's listening to this, watching our beautiful faces.
And yes, John Williamson, yes, a.k.a. the Barbie Yaga.
The Barbie Yaga,
John
yes.
Williamson. In our first hour, we were briefly discussing that we will be having audio intros into our show soon. And yes, your songs will be a part of that. So I'm sure I speak for Gilbert when I say thank you very much for your contributions.
Yes.
Absolutely love those songs.
Love them.
And they will be forever a staple of this podcast going forward, hopefully starting next week. So
yes,
we are
absolutely
good to go there. Last week we talked. We have a subject we want to talk about today. But last week we did talk Transformers, and I wanted to just add something to that because I saw a Transformers movie yesterday I hadn't seen yet, and that was Bumblebee.
Yeah, great movie.
That movie is fantastic. I love the kind of throwback to the original look of the Transformers. They did it in the Rise of the Beasts also, but this came out before that. And I think that okay, you know how I couldn't remember Cliff Jumper's name? They freaking killed him in the beginning of the movie.
Right?
Like drop kick,
so
right down the middle. Like, oh my God, I'm sorry, Cliff Jumper. And it sucks to be second best, but wow, you got second bested.
All right. Yeah. And so I will say that I love this movie because it, just like how you said, it was a throwback to the original ones. And with the Michael Bay versions up until that point, it was like all the fans, we were just like just tired of it because Bumblebee looked cool, with the whole using the radio to talk and whatnot, but I mean, he's supposed to talk, and
He is supposed to.
yeah,
He does have a voice.
right, exactly. And you don't get all the Decepticons, they're supposed to look evil, but having them all just basically just gray. Like, I mean,
Right, well, we got more reflections of their original looks in this one. And I even want to give a shout out. I know, again, John Cena didn't write the line, he just said it, but he was like, when he's talking to his bosses, and he's like, Decepticons.
It's in the
Does that
name.
not ring any, no red flags?
It's not raised any flags. I mean, it's in the name.
It's in the name, exactly. So,
yeah,
I thought that was. But my question's this, and maybe you can answer this, because I seem to be getting conflicting answers online. Starting with Bumblebee, going into Rise of the Beasts, and after that, is that a reboot? They seem to be calling it an evolution, but if you look at last night and you look at Rise of the Beasts, Unicorn, I did it again. Unicron has two very different appearances. In one movie, The Last Night, he is Earth.
Right.
But in Rise of the Beasts, what we get is his Transformers, the movie 1986 look.
Right.
Planet with the big ring.
Yeah.
The big maw opens up and sucks in planets and stuff like that. So, good question, Jay Thomas. We are broadcasting on Rules of Nerdquisition. I don't show that we're on Ghost Claw Productions Radio. I don't know why. It says it's currently waiting.
I don't know why. It showed the Transformers like just so you know who they are instead of just having them to tell you that, oh, this is Starscream because he said he's Starscream and said it, he just looks like just everybody else.
Like, oh my God. You're like, oh my God, that's Starscream.
Right.
It looks like he does in the cartoons.
Yes.
Like there was no question.
Right. Oh my God, that's Starscream. That is Starscream. Instead of just like, okay, that's another jet, and then it says, I'm Starscream. Are you though? Because I mean, you don't look like Starscream.
Are you though? And I do feel like that they were connecting Bumblebee and even Rise of the Beasts into the Transformers 1 universe, because they Optimus kept referring to Bumblebee as B-127.
Well, that B-127
Bumblebee till he got to Earth.
Well, see, B-127 has always been his official kind of designation. He got the name.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Nerd failure. Nerd failure.
That's always been his sort of like designation. He got the name Bumblebee because, for whatever reason, I guess when he transformed, he chose the
Volkswagen Bug.
The Volkswagen Bug as a car, then it was bright yellow and it kind of looked like a bee and it was a bug, and so it was just kind of stuck with a Bumblebee.
Well, and the character Charlie mentioned in the movie Bumblebee that when he was making his noises, he sounded like a buzzing bee.
Yeah,
so she started to call him bee, even though there was like a bee's nest under his wheel well in the jungle when she found him. But anyway, that's all I wanted to ask. I mean, I'm sort of looking at Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast as like a reboot, and I kind of hope they go with that going forward. I know the next movie is supposed to have Rise of the Beast, the Maximals and all that in it again. So I kind of hope they go with that. I'm sorry, Michael Bay. Thank you for bringing them to the screen, but I mean, it really was a confusing mess.
Yeah. So with Bumblebee, they tried and it ties in with the Michael Bay films and trying to keep those as like this is a part of their whole universe like that, and that part of the Transformers universe, because essentially within the whole lore now is they've established that a multiverse of all Transformers, and
Yeah.
sort of like the nexus of all of it is Unicron and Primus. So throughout all multiverses, just say Unicron and Primus. So
I hope that they expand on that in future movies. I mean, I know we're getting more.
I hope so as well.
They've already made so many, and they made so much money. There's no doubt they're already in production. We should get the next one. I think they were saying in 2026. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But we did come up with another topic to talk about now that we've kind of got the Transformers afterthoughts out of the way.
Right.
If you take our initials for our podcast, the Rules of Nerdquisition, it spells Tron. So we thought, hey,
So hey,
let's talk about Tron.
talk a little bit about Tron. So yeah, Tron was one of those movies that unknowingly kind of planted that seed of wanting to go into computers and into that whole side of programming, and how far it can go with that. Because I wanted when I was a kid, of course, naturally, as all kids, you wanted to play video games for the rest of your life. That's it.
Of course, I still want to play video games for the rest of my life. I just unfortunately have to have a
Yeah, but unfortunately, the little stuff like, bills get in the way. And you know what I mean? And so, yeah, and it was like that. And I wanted to just play video games for the rest of my life. And Tron was one of those movies that kind of inspired me to, without unknowingly, inspired me to go into the field of IT.
I never really thought about it that way. So when I was a kid, when the movie Tron came out, my mom was working as a manager for a bookstore in a local mall. During the summer, she could not afford childcare. So I would often pack up like my He-Man toys and stuff in a brown paper grocery bag, and I would sit in the back room while she worked and I would play. But on occasion, she had a little extra cash, and the mall had a theater, and couple of times she'd give me a few dollars and say, hey, why don't you go watch a movie or something, to get me out of her hair, because I would get bored hanging out at the bookstore all day long. Not that I don't love to read, but
but after
keep me out of the Dungeons and Dragons material,
right,
she didn't want me playing with at the time. And that's where I first saw Tron, was one summer with no childcare to the theater, and that it's one of the most influential movies of my love for nerddom and fandoms and stuff like that. Between that, the Black Hole from Disney, and Star Trek. I mean, those are the three things. Well, and Star Wars, obviously. These are big time movies for me. I mean, how do I plug in? And you see, as we talked about in text messages earlier, how it's influenced other movies. I mean, with the whole cyberpunk game franchise, role playing and video games now, The Matrix.
Yeah,
concept.
Like a lot of things that we kind of don't realize is that Tron kind of planted these seeds into it. With even with movies like the Hunger Games series. I mean, even with Tron within the movie, there were the games that they had that if you had to play, and if you lost, you died. So same thing with kind of like with the Hunger Games
Arcade. How much money I spent on Tron Arcade?
Right.
and it had what, 4 modes. It had the attack the MCP with the disc. It had the bikes. It had the tanks, and it had the spiders,
Yep. Exactly.
the grid bugs.
And the one I hated the most were the bikes. Oh, I hated the bike because
it was very hard.
Yes. And we got some people going on going on in the chat about this because just how a lot of things within Tron has just been so influential throughout the years, you know, and even with just how sometimes how we would sometimes just how with greeting people, you know, like somebody walks up,
you and I have argued over that before. Like, hey,
right?
I did that. No, I did that.
Right.
When you're trying to find some gender neutral way of
trying to find gender neutral ways that which way to go. Greetings programs. I mean,
it's always good. It's always good tried and true. But
yeah,
that movie was fantastic, and not just but like its visual effects today, they don't hold up that great. They're not fantastic. It's in the early days of CGI and stuff like that. But when you first saw it, don't tell me that you weren't like, oh my god, I want to.
Oh yeah, you were
in a dark neon suit.
Yeah, you're absolutely blown away. I mean, of course, naturally, when you first saw it, you wanted a light bike. Because why? You wanted to ride around and just, you know, just ride around everywhere and just make walls whenever you just ride someplace and just make people crash into stuff. Yeah. Just, I mean, not me. You know, other people.
Right. Not me. Definitely not me.
Not me, though. No, never me.
and yeah, just to respond to John in the comments, Ready Player One is another movie that could be a whole episode of Rules.
Oh yeah,
just to attack every possible cameo, Easter egg,
just the whole 9. Yeah, Ready Player One. It's
we'll do that movie one.
Yeah, because that's a movie. I love that movie, Ready Player One. But and that's one probably that's another one that, you know, is inspired by Tron.
Same thing. Yeah, you're entering into a
game. You're essentially into a whole entire universe, an online universe. You know, and even with there's a cartoon in the 90s. It was called Reboot. Even that.
I remember.
Okay, yeah.
I remember.
Again, that was something that, again, takes place in a computer in which a antivirus program, you know, deletes viruses. You know, it's an antivirus program. Yeah, and again, inspiring from, you know, obviously it took inspiration from Tron.
Yeah, it was a huge influence, and I do like, even though I'm pretty much anti-religious as it goes, I like the inferences. You know, you have these sentient programs in the Tron on the grid,
right,
so to speak,
right,
and users of these mythological creators of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And then you actually have one come down to Earth or their Earth, the grid,
right,
and then start altering that universe.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
Yeah, exactly. And then and that could be one, and just like when he came down and he was realized where he was at, and he's like, everybody calling him program. He's like, I'm not a program. I'm actually a user.
Not a program.
And the way that just blew their minds, it was just like,
Mm-hmm.
and again, it would probably do the same for us, you know, like
Oh.
if you know one of the gods that we believe in, all of a sudden just we're just walking in the middle of Walmart and you say, "Holy shit, you're yeah." So you're
I like to think that, like, if I were at a hockey game or something and Jesus beamed down during intermission between first and second period, I'd like to think I'd be like, oh, look at that, there he is. I was wrong. When
so,
I'm really just going to be like,
right.
what?
He'd be like, "Wait, you're how you?"
Exactly. Exactly. But
Yeah,
the way that like the way that Flynn was manipulating everything from the recognizers and it's just all the little early computer day lingo, like you had a pipe
yeah,
and it could only speak in positive or negatives, like yes, no,
yes,
yes, no.
right, yeah, and just little stuff like that. It was little attention like to details, and again, like, and I get this was early '80s, and so
Computer knowledge
special,
is still in its
yeah,
primitive stages.
still in part of its stages. So, when you see grid bugs, obviously they're the easiest way to do it is to make them into a cartoon, and
Exactly.
that's the easiest way to integrate it into it and just make a whole scene where it's an animated scene. Now, of course, naturally, if they redid it today, of course, they could, make the grid bugs look like, actual bugs. That how we would imagine them to look like.
Oh, absolutely. And you can take that to the next step and look at Tron Legacy. Now, Tron Legacy does have a bit of, I don't know, a little more controversy around it. Not necessarily controversy, but definitely
Yeah.
not as much nostalgic love as
Right.
the original Tron does. Because Tron, despite its flaws for the time, was it was groundbreaking in what it
Yes.
did.
Yes.
Legacy showed us everything that we can do with CGI today.
Right.
I still
And-
love that movie though.
Oh yeah, it's a great movie, and to me, it shows how far that CGI and special effects have come from the original Tron 2 Legacy, and just in the simple fact of how they operated the light bikes, and instead of the bikes going in a literal kind of grid pattern of just squares, so you're actually able to curve, create curves like an actual bike should. It adheres to the physics of a motorcycle and creates the walls that adheres to the physics of that motorcycle. And that was one of those, subtle attention to details that I was like, I loved.
It's very, very,
So yeah,
and even though we weren't quite to the point where like de-aging technology was there yet,
right. It was
so Jeff Bridges looked a little rough in his Clue.
yeah,
I do like the throwback though, because Clue was actually in the original Tron and got taken out.
yeah.
So like true, maybe that's like Clue 1.0 versus Clue
2.0
1.1 or 2.0,
or 1
right?
or 1.1 or 1.2 or something like that. But
1.03754.
right,
if you're going by actually the way that technicians and programmers come up with version numbers, it's never as simple as 1.
it's never 1.0 or 2.0 or 3. It's always like 2.45786.
And also, just, I hate that they had to try and make me choose, because I'm sorry, Olivia Wilde as Quora was amazing.
Right.
She's also fantastic looking.
Mm-hmm.
I got to give it up for Bo Garrett as Jem. She was my favorite. Like every scene she's in, I'm just kind of like, yes, Mama. Like, I mean,
All right.
as bad as that sounds, I'm sorry. She was just. Hmm. The only person I don't like in that movie is Michael Sheen as Zeus. But I have issues with him anyway. In some things. I know this
All
is
right.
not a popular subject, and we'll never
Mhm.
we'll never do an episode of Rules of Nerdquisition about it.
Okay.
The Twilight series is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. I didn't like him in that either. So, and there are plenty of bad actors and bad performances in those movies to criticize. Trust me,
Uh,
there are plenty. That is all I will ever say on this show about Twilight ever again. Anyway,
but yeah, and with Legacy and here's the thing, and I'm not sure what really the big spark of the whole controversy was. I mean, unless it was had something to do with story, but I mean, as far as visually goes, it absolutely impressive. Absolutely impressive. You know, from a long way from how it was to where it is now. Absolutely impressive.
when you're talking about a movie, to date ourselves, it is now almost 15 years old.
Yeah. 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 Oh,
I know that they had planned to go further with it. They had intended to create multiple sequels.
yeah,
And I
but
loved seeing at least most of the cast come back. At least we got to see Jeff Bridges, we got to see Bruce Boxleitner come back as Tron. Even Cillian Murphy playing what's his name's kid,
oh,
Derringer.
yes,
Dillinger,
Dillinger, yes.
Dillinger, playing Dillinger's kid, and they were kind of setting up something to go into multiple movies. I just don't think the box office was there.
No, and I'm not sure. Maybe it's just simply because of the audience at the time. Is that ones like us that saw Tron, you know, in the '80s, and we were expecting, you know, that same kind of that nostalgia, but without realizing is that we're grown and this is yes, it's a sequel to the original, but it's also something that is geared towards a younger audience. I think that's mainly where the whole disconnect came in and why it wasn't received like it wasn't received very popular.
And
Because
my question, next question too. I mean, it's a two-parter here. So, you've got, first of all, why do studios listen to critics so much? Because I can tell you, like looking right here, you know, based on reviewers, critics and stuff, Tron Legacy had a 51%.
yeah,
But when audiences were polled, they gave it a B plus on an A plus to F scale, which seems pretty good to me.
right.
But then again, you also have to look at the monetary return, and the box office wasn't there.
Yes.
And I'm sure this movie was not cheap.
No, absolutely not. So, and that may be part of the reason as well, is that even though the audience loved it, and the critics may have been like, but just simply because it didn't make the money back like I guess they really wanted it to make, is the reason why it's just like, I mean, yeah, we could make it, and yeah, we could probably make some money off of it, but not enough to justify it. And so And I think that's that's where us as fans got, got screwed.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard sometimes to guess exactly or figure
Mm.
out how the box office does well because Metal Melter in the comments is asking about
Yeah.
it not doing well. The production value or budget was 170 million. It made 409 million box office worldwide. That's between the U.S. and international viewings. But
And
just
again,
because it made more than what the budget was, that doesn't always mean that the film was successful.
right.
Because there's post-production payouts, royalties,
Mhm.
that sort of stuff. Given how much of that post-production value they paid out, how much did it really make? And that's hard. That's a hard number to quantify. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but the studios felt it wasn't in their best interest to make more. That's why they went to an animated series.
Yes. Because
It's cheaper to
it's
make.
is cheaper to make it. And so yeah, and again, metal.
You're right,
Yeah,
Metal.
I still love the movies, and
I mean,
I definitely
everything from the opening scene of him just riding the motorcycle through the city.
right, absolutely.
I
So I
just like
mean,
that part. I mean,
yeah. So I love the movies and the uh, the uh, the animated series, and I started watching that. I loved it. I love the series, but and again, it don't that the series. I thought it went for like 3 seasons, when in here I thought it went for 3 seasons. I only watched just the first season and missed the other two. And here I looked it up, and it's only one season.
yeah,
And I'm
Tron
like,
Uprising.
yeah.
2012 to 2013.
And again, that's one of those shows, and it was a great cartoon because it took place after Legacy, and but I think the whole thing is because it didn't have Tron just like soaked in throughout the whole thing, and Clue kind of soaked in throughout the whole thing, then it didn't get the popularity that they wanted. I mean, yeah, it was popular because it did have Bruce Boxleitner in it, but not throughout the whole series like they kind of, like the fans wanted. And the same thing with Clue. Like, yeah, wanted Clue throughout the whole thing, but not enough the way that the fans wanted. And bringing in
No,
new characters, it's iffy. So, eh.
it is,
Yeah.
especially if you're trying to draw in a new audience. I mean, maybe it's a little
Right.
easier for them. I don't know. But when you've got a base core audience that
Mhm.
wants more of the characters we know, because, I mean, we've got what, 20, 30 years between Tron and Tron Uprising.
Right.
And as an original Tron fan, I'm all for new characters. Again, I loved a lot of the characters in Tron Legacy, but we also want more of the characters we fell in love with in the first place.
Right. Exactly. Like, I mean, there's room for the new characters, and we're not saying that oh, we only want to see Tron and we only want to see Clue and that's it. Saying no, the new characters are fine, but there's a way to introduce them without it feeling like kind of shoehorned into us, and then just say like a cameo from Tron and saying like, hey, this is Beck, he's the new Tron, he's cool, I'm out. And then like Clue's just like, hey, I'm Clue, I'm here. And then that's it. Say no, we need a little bit more. I mean,
Well, and we want some clue.
exactly.
Where'd she go?
Yes.
We
know?
know what happened to Tron. We know that Flynn created Clue, and they built a new grid together, and Clue corrupted Tron, and Tron became Rizzler. But what happened to Yori?
Right.
Can we even get a little bit of narrative that tells me what happened to her?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, what
And Cindy, if you didn't want to come back and play the character,
Then-
what else are you doing?
like seriously? And and again with and even what's going on the outside world with Flynn. Flynn, where you at, Flynn? Where you at? How come your son is doing this instead of you, Flynn? Come on, man.
And just to be clear, Cindy Morgan did pass away last year at the age of 69. So she is no longer with us and could not come back if she wanted to, but she was around during 2010.
So she could have done something. She could have done something. But the studio didn't have anything for her.
J. Thomas Rizzler is the corrupted version of Tron in Tron Legacy. The program that Flynn wrote named Clue corrupted the original Tron program, and it became Rizzler, which was like basically an evil enforcer. He was the anti-antivirus. If Tron was a security program, Rizzler was the anti-security program.
So yes, Tron got infected with the Clue virus. So
right,
yes.
Yeah, they probably didn't ask her. I mean, who knows what their casting budget was when it came to whatever. But
they'd probably say just like, oh, fans won't even remember this character, because again, at that point it was like 30 years.
I remembered her, but I've seen Caddyshack. Huh.
Me too.
Everybody loved her in Caddyshack.
No.
Anyway, this is a nerd podcast, not a comedy podcast. So, moving on. But I mean, I think if we're talking Tron Legacy,
right?
Its legacy is definitely the fact that I don't think we'd have movies like The Matrix, or Cyberpunk, or Reboot, or any of these other.
Right, or even even like video games.
What was the movie I think that Chris Rock was a voice of, where they were like antibodies inside of a human body?
Osmosis Jones.
Thank you, Osmosis Jones. Like almost a similar concept.
Yes.
Anthropomorphizing things in a tiny, tiny microverse.
Yeah. Right, exactly, yeah. And again, just kind of, showing like their day-to-day life, so to speak. And so, same thing with, with Tron. Again, and this whole thing that's being carried on in this, essentially, this micro-universe of this computer with a laser that's pointed right behind you, and it's like, what?
Right, exactly. But, yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
And it's like, did nobody learn the first time? Don't ever point a laser at you right directly to you.
Yeah, apparently they didn't.
I mean, I would think that's like kind of safety 101. Like you have something that shoots a laser out there, don't have it pointed directly at you.
Yeah, I mean, there's no lasers behind me pointing at me at my terminal right now. As cool as I think it would be to get zapped into a computer system and go have some amazing adventures in Computer World or something.
Right.
I'm just not going to sit in front of it.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool, but at the same time, I don't want to do it.
Yeah. No, I know. That would be bad. But still, I mean, I can give opinions about The Matrix all day long, and again, that could probably be its own long-winded episode of itself.
Oh, the things you could just branch off into any and everything about The Matrix. just from the themes of it, the whole overall arch of it, characters, everything.
Oh yeah, there's
Yeah.
so many. Oh, let me see here. Hold on. I'm getting some news here. A standalone sequel, Tron Ares, is scheduled for release on October 10th of 2025. I have
Okay.
not heard of this.
Tron Ares. Really? Let's check Tron Ares out.
Oh, why? Jared
Jodie
Leto.
Turner, Jeff Bridges. Let's see this. Is that?
Peters is
Oh
playing
my,
another Dillinger.
oh no! Please do not tell me that. Oh no, Jared Leto. Jared Leto's in this.
I know we've had this discussion already about okay, Jared Leto is going to be Skeletor in the Masters of the Universe remake.
Yes.
Everybody has opinions about his version of the Joker. Mine are not good.
I mean,
They're not bad, but they're not great.
right. And I just don't know how to process this. I don't know.
No, because nobody I know is in it except for Jeff Bridges. I mean, as far as returning cast,
Yeah, the only one returning is just Jeff Bridges.
you couldn't get Olivia Wilde.
So no.
You couldn't get Garrett Hedlund to come back as
Nope.
Sam. I mean, at least Susan. Now I'm in a weird place. Now I'm in a very weird place. Because I didn't even know this was a thing. I was just scrolling down and I'm like, oh, there is a sequel coming.
Said no, I did not even know this. Said Tron Ares, okay.
Okay, so apparently Tron Ares is a thing that's happening, and I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure about this. I will watch it.
Oh yeah, I just don't know how to process this emotionally. The only thing I'm not sure about. Well, I'm not even gonna say about Jared Leto because I mean, he's a good actor, and I'm not gonna say anything about it because he's definitely whatever the part is, he's gonna kill the part.
He's good in some things. I mean, obviously Dallas Buyers Club is one of his biggest roles.
Yeah.
But that's not a nerdy film necessarily.
Yeah, I mean,
but here's the inherent problem, and this is something that you and I keep recurring theme.
mm-hmm.
Here's the synopsis.
Yeah.
Ares follows a highly sophisticated program, Ares, who is sent from the digital world into the real world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they established that in Legacy that actually programs can cross over into the real world.
Yes, but stop. Transformers do best when they stay on Cybertron.
So yeah,
Masters of the Universe do best when they stay on
Eternia. And again, when we have discussed this, is stories that it crosses over into the real world are just not my favorite. Not my favorite. I mean,
on the subject is that nerdism and all of these fandoms that we love, it is escapism for us.
Yes.
We live in the real world every day.
Mm-hmm.
Take me out of the real world. I don't want to be here anymore. No, I'm not going to sit in front of a laser on purpose, but the thought is nice.
Yeah. But I mean, and it's just, I just don't understand why everything has to cross over into the real world. Why? Because you think the interaction of, well, let's just see how it would be if Tron was like, he went into the mall, or let's just see how Tron would be if he walked into a movie theater, or Tron will walk into a movie theater and he sees Tron being played. Really? I can't do it.
We've already seen this in our discussions about Transformers, especially the Michael Bay versions of the movies. The Transformers coming to Earth would be utterly devastating to human culture as we know it.
Yes.
The sheer destruction they are capable of doing, and the fact that we can do very little against them.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And
why? At least with Beast Wars, Rise of the Beast, they gave the kid the little power suit. At least he had tiny advantage.
yeah. At least he could do, something.
Something.
Something. I mean, but
all Shia LaBeouf could do for 3 movies was run and try to not get crushed.
Right, yeah, and just go whoa, 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 and then
exactly.
That's it.
Then here comes Mark Wahlberg running, trying to not get crushed.
See, yeah, except with Wahlberg, it's like, hey, whoa, bro, and run. Shia's like, whoa, 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 done.
Then we could get Transformers 1 and have the Transformers on Cybertron fighting each other, and it's the same as watching a movie of 2 humans fighting each other. The risks and are the same.
Yes, exactly.
One is not absolutely outpowering the other. Like, you can't fight a Transformer. He steps on you, you're dead.
Yes.
Into a car.
Right, exactly. I mean, even as a car, what? He still run over you, and you're dead.
And you're dead. And back to the Masters of the Universe thing. I mean, literally in that horrible movie with Dolph Lundgren, they bring them over into the real world, into this tiny town that apparently has 1 cop.
Right.
Because Skeletor can float down the street of some suburban American neighborhood on this giant hovercraft, and there's 1 cop. And it's the principal from Back to the Future.
And instead of just like, create a whole warp, a whole warp thing, and then it just shoots them across, the other side of Eternia. So that way they have time to prep and plan, and then portal their way back to the castle, and then boom, take out Skeletor. But no, it has to go into the real world. How many times in the He-Man cartoon that they've regrouped in somewhere in Eternia? I just don't. I hate when it comes into the real world.
And they're doing it again with the Masters of the Universe live action remake. We're doing it with the Tron sequel, Tron Fairies.
Doing that with
keep doing it.
And it's just for decades just want to see these stories where it takes place on their world. And I've been begging for decades just to see Transformers take place on Cybertron. Got a taste of it on the machinima version, and now officially on Transformers 1. And it was amazing.
It was amazing. It was a fantastic movie. I can't stress that enough. Yes, it's animated, but I understand the logic. So these producers, these writers, they're like, how can we connect with general audiences? How can we get more people in seats to see our movies? And I get it. Fantasy and sci-fi, as a general rule, are not as popular as your action movies, your romance, your general type of real world movies. I know you want to connect with audiences, but I'm telling you, there is a huge untapped nerd audience out there if you would just do it right.
Yeah.
When it comes to video game or comic book properties, there's ways to do it right. Marvel didn't do a bad job. Yes, they had some bad movies throughout the MCU. Tron, or not Tron, Thor. I don't know why I said Tron. We're talking Tron. But Thor, we've talked about that. But the first two Thor movies
or absolutely horrible. The third one was really good. Fourth one was, it was there.
It was there. You had Christian Bale to kind of give you a decent performance to at least.
Right. Yeah.
Some of it,
but again, it was there. So.
But Guardians of the Galaxy, movies that showed you that they can exist on other worlds without being on Earth.
Yeah.
Yes, the main character comes from Earth. I get that. You get like 10, 15 seconds of Earth at the beginning of the movie, and then it's over.
Right. And
then he's off into space doing weird stuff.
Yeah, and then you'll get the occasional Earth reference, but, since nobody's from Earth, they don't get it.
Star Wars outright exists in a universe where Earth is never mentioned or talked about, and it's doing just fine. You can argue about the direction Disney seeing, a
Jedi,
Taco Bell signs and stuff,
right? And trying to see, Obi-Wan trying to get an Uber, or trying to see Vader, on a bus. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I don't need to see Vader beaming down or taking a shuttle down into like Times Square because Obi-Wan was seen hiding out on the L train.
Right. Last thing we need is like, a TIE fighter crashed on Earth. And then all of a sudden Vader pops out and, he has to find a way to survive on Earth until the Empire comes to pick him up. I'm done. I'm immediately checked out. Immediately checked out. Soon as that, I'm done. Just
yeah, I don't need any of that. And yeah, Metal brings up another good point. Same thing in Demolition Man. Even in futuristic movies, we still got to have all this goofy ass advertisement that we're surrounded by everywhere.
Yeah,
all the time.
Then we're going to Taco Bell for dinner. It's like, really? Like, I mean, you can like, I get, if Taco Bell is your sponsor and you got to mention Taco Bell. All right, I get it, but you can't just have like a sign in the background. I mean,
at least do it in at least the comedic way, like Wayne and Garth did in Wayne's World.
Right? And just make it like an obvious product placement of just saying like a Taco Bell bag, something, It's like,
right, where he's like, we are not going to be shills for the corporate world, and that's the taste of the choice of a new generation.
Right?
It's blatant comedic.
That's just blatant. Yeah,
I mean, like,
just blatant product placement.
Ain't nobody trying to tell me that in the future we're going to Taco Bell for a fancy dinner, because ain't nobody doing that today. When I go to Taco Bell, it's like, I guess it's quick and it's 3 right turns instead of a left turn, and I can get home quick, and it's cheap.
It's like, I mean, yeah, it's there, but do I really want Taco Bell right now? And that's my always thing. Even though even though I can't eat it now, even when I did, that was my exact thought process. It was like, do I really want Taco Bell?
Honestly craved Taco Bell since the last time I was at a bar coming home at about 2:30 in the morning, and I'm pretty sure that was a good 2 decades ago. I mean, yeah, I'll get it, especially on road trips. It's like, okay, I'm just going to grab something quick. I'm driving 12 hours.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I get that. That makes sense. And, the 2 a.m. after the bar, and the only thing is open is Taco Bell. Yeah, I get it.
You'll never catch me sitting here with my kids going, hey, what do you want to get for dinner? Not one of them, let alone all of them, are going, Taco Bell.
That doesn't never happen.
My kids have outgrown even the McDonald's thing. So, I mean, or Happy Meals were cool. They're not even interested in that. They're like, can't you just cook something? And I'm like, fine.
Like, You don't want Taco Bell?
But
No.
I don't blame you because it is better. But why don't you cook?
Right.
Ah.
Oh.
Well, what started as Tron ended up into dear sci-fi and fantasy genres. Stop coming back to Earth. We don't want to be here anymore.
No.
Have you seen what's going on?
See, yeah, and I knew at the end of Legacy when Olivia Wilde's character came into the real world, I was like, nope. 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 I was done. Everything was good up until then. That one scene, it was like, nope.
You know how sometimes we'll get a movie, and depending on the time period it takes place, say you got a scene that's in a school or at a political building or something, and you'll see the picture of the current president in that time period hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
I don't. I've already seen Donald Trump in Home Alone 2. I don't.
I don't need to see him.
Want to see that mug hanging on the wall behind somebody, like on SVU or I don't know, the Breakfast Club 17. I don't need to see that.
No, I don't. I mean, maybe if it's his mugshot, but that's about it. But even that,
yeah, definitely mugshot.
Even that is just kind of like, I don't know if I want to see that. Even, but if there's no choice whatsoever, and had to see a picture, mugshot.
Definitely mugshot. But it is what it is. Just please stop coming back to Earth. And if you're a sci-fi fantasy writer out there, my request to you is stay in a different realm, different planet.
Just keep them there. Don't blend it over into the real world. Please don't. Keep Transformers on Cybertron, because if they come over here, the destruction is a lot more, palpable than what we have been led to believe for decades.
We're all dead, and those of us that remain are climbing over mountains of skulls straight out of the opening scene of Terminator 2.
Yes.
Okay? I mean, humans are trash. If giant metal sentient robots bring their fight to our planet, we're doomed.
Right. And what are the first things that we're going to do? The ones that survive, we're going to try. If we survive, and if some of them are smart, and some of them, that they're able to take one of these Transformers down, what are they going to do? Try to build their own.
Which they did. And was it not Revenge of the Fallen? No, or Dark of the Moon? The one where Galvatron was made in the Michael Bay version, when Galvatron basically that little secret group created Galvatron out of Megatron's head. Unicron created Megatron.
That was Dark Side of the Moon. Or Dark of the Moon.
Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
Dark of the Moon. Okay.
Whatever it was.
It wasn't Revenge of the Fallen. That's the second one, and that didn't have Galvatron.
No, because Revenge of the Fallen was the one Prime, that went evil, and then Revenge of the Fallen was Megatron, but then the Allspark changed him into Galvatron.
Right, they were doing experiments on his head in that building. I just watched it the other day. But yeah, Revenge of the Fallen, the big bad was there was a fight, but that was the one with Devastator. Take him out with the rail cannon on top of the pyramid when he's.
So I don't know what the fuck that was, but swear jar. I don't know what it was, but that was not Devastator.
No, and hopefully we'll get better versions going forward. And I'm going to make a plea. Please, can we get a Transformers 2? Because Transformers 1 was fantastic. I need 2 and 3.
Please.
I need to see all of my beloved Transformers. Cybertron.
See it, and
or in space.
Is that right? Or like the Netflix ones, they did it right because they kept it on Cybertron. Well, I mean, they were in space, a lot, but they were in Cybertron.
Even Beast Wars did it. I mean, yeah, it was on
Mhm.
Earth, but humans were either not evolved or pre-evolved and not part of the show. And then
Right?
when it went to Beast Machines, it went to Cybertron.
Yeah. And even then, before we even knew it was Earth, it was just some weird, mysterious planet that just had a whole bunch of energon, and we had no clue what it was.
Yeah. And it could have been the Beast Machines original planet anyway, Maximal's original planet, which they highlighted in
Mhm.
Rise of the Beast. But, it is what it is. God, apparently we can talk about Transformers forever. When is this going to become a Transformers podcast? I don't know. But not our plan. Not our plan. We're still going to review Star Trek every week, as we always do. Next week is, let's see, season 2, episode 5.
Next week, what is it?
What is
Da,
that
da, da,
one?
da, 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 da,
The Apple.
da. The apple.
With the big dragon head. That they have to the people with the little orange people with the antennas. It's Trump's whole planet. Oh my crap! People. They're orange and they have these big bouffants. The only thing Trump is missing is the little antenna from his puppet master Elon Musk telling him what to do.
Said, oh, did she say that out loud? Oh, oh.
I said it out loud.
Did she say that? Did she say it out loud?
But they're the feeders of Vol. So Vol is Trump and Vol. Anyway.
Oh, but we have come to
it.
the end of the show.
Today. Apologize for the late start because of technical difficulties, but then we get into other nerd talk. I think next week we have a subject. We're going to be talking a little bit more extra Trek afterwards, but I don't know yet. We'll let you know. It's often as much a surprise it is to us as it is to you.
Yeah. So, hey.
I'm Gretchen, and as always, I'm going to leave it to Gilbert there to get us out of here.
Let me just remind everybody to keep your triple spayed and neutered. I have a dog that needs to go out because she is, I don't know, whining and begging, and she needs to go out and she needs to be fed. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So everybody, I love you all. Take care.
Recording stopped.
We are going to, let's end this.